All right, guys, so this concludes, me reviewing the neuroscience angle of this book, which is on mental toughness, HBR's 10 must-reads. So, of course, I was traveling, and I love having time on the plane to kind of jump into some of these books. So we went through how the best of the best get better and better, the crucibles of leadership, building resilience, cognitive fitness, making of the corporate athlete. Stress can be a good thing if you know how to use it. I love that one. How to bounce back from adversity, rebounding from career setbacks, realizing what you're made of, and extreme negotiations. And then there was the bonus, the post-traumatic growth and building resilience. Now, I love it because a lot of these articles, this was copyrighted in 2018, but a lot of the articles are from, 2005, 2010, 2017. And it all still works, right? Because these are classic leadership training. So how the best of the best get better and better. It really focused on, building habits, staying curious. And so many of the articles had the same kind of recommendations is, how important it is to keep an open mind. A lot of it was, talking about the importance of leading with your values, looking for that shared meaning with your team, making sure as a leader that you don't only think neck up, that you can use your whole physical self to be a really impactful leader. And what do I mean by that? Well, there was 2 articles in here, one by a sports psychologist and one by an actual athletic trainer that started training leaders to build their ideal capacity as a leader. And the ideal capacity included cognitive, physical, your energy, and as well as they called it spiritual, but what they meant by that was values and purpose. So in order to build your ideal capacity as a leader, what so many of these articles came back to is that we have to, stop saying, hey, our teams are tired, our teams are this, and take, of course, leadership from a personal level and build our own skill set. Because that means we're optimistic, and optimistic people were able to stay away from that learned helplessness. So there was a lot of studies on learned helplessness where we just stay stuck or paralyzed. But if we're optimistic and we're willing to set a goal and take some small steps toward the goal and then celebrate along the way, and by celebrating, they meant analyzing and what worked and keep going with that and building off your skills, right? So it was very interesting. So in Brain Fresh, I do the same thing with, a lot of these foundational skill building methods. So we talk about priming the brain for a really busy leadership day or week, or that big project you want to nail. Not acknowledging that the brain needs primed is just silly. So of course, like all these sports psychologists and sports trainers in this book had mentioned, you actually need to acknowledge that we're not just neck up, we are our whole self. And so there's ways that we can really get to our ideal capacity by just, simple, they call them rituals, which I thought was a nice word to use, because rituals means there's a deeper meaning to it. And there is a deeper meaning. We all want to live in our purpose and deep in our strengths and our values. And that's what we do in Brain Fresh. We talk about brain priming. We talk about aligning with our strengths and our values, making sure we feel like we strongly belong where we are, because the brain has to feel like it belongs. That's that psychological safety piece. And then we go into design mode. How can we try something? How can we build a growth team? We have to acknowledge that we have to keep really strong, challenging people around us. And actually the sports psychologist and the trainer in here said you train with your competition, because you want to keep a high level of challenge around you. And I love that, because I've always worked at institutions the institution I work at is, full of really amazing folks, and they challenge me every day, so I love that. And so I hope you got a lot out of this, and let me know what you really enjoyed out of this, and learning about the neuroscience angle to leadership development. This is what we do in Leadership Lift with Brain Fresh. If you have any questions, just email me, thebrainfresh@gmail.com. I'll tell you all about my monthly membership, where we have workshops every month. You have access to my productivity and time management course that are all neuroscience based. I love to sprinkle neuroscience strategies on leaders, weekly schedules, so that, they can really honestly get to that ideal capacity by learning a little bit about what the brain needs and what the body needs to get the brain going, right? So I think there's capacity there, capacity building skills for leaders, because we're all very challenged with change management and workforce transitioning, and there's just ongoing challenges with leaders. So why not get to our own personal ideal capacity? We don't want to sit in that learned helplessness, like things are bad, things are scary, things are at the worst ever. You know, we want to go with the mindset like, we got this, we're going to build our strategies, get to our ideal capacity. That's what we can do, right? Okay, guys, you got this. So reach out with your questions, and I believe in you, and let me know about, your deep purpose, what helped to be, just a little bit more clear for you listening to these videos. I would love to hear your takeaways. So let me know the best learning that you had from the videos. You got this.